Hello everyone and welcome! This past week has certainly been a hectic one for me personally, and despite as of last night not having any video ready to go out for today, I've been so grateful for all the support via Patreon and channel memberships recently that I wanted to put out something this week, as you all definitely deserve it and I really appreciate all the continued support. So after sitting down and doing a bit of thinking, I decided it's finally time to get this $25 RC, not officially licensed Ferrari F430 back on the bench and transform it into something a little cooler looking, just like I did with the AE86 prior. Ever since I uploaded that video on the AE86, I've been bombarded with messages from folks wanting to see me do something similar with this Ferrari. In fact, that video was one of the most popular videos that I've posted this year. And while I honestly wasn't sure what everyone would think of the idea of transforming one of these little cheap toy RCs into something a little cooler looking, a lot of you really seem to like the finished car. And a big thanks, by the way, for all the kudos on that last video. I'm really glad so many of you enjoyed it. Now, if you missed that previous video, feel free to check it out. I've posted the link to it below in the description. But to give you a quick overview, I bought a couple of these really cheap $25 micro RC drift cars off of Amazon to have something for folks to drive around with at the Ultimate Scale Truck Expo. Brad from the RC Supremacy channel here on YouTube put together an awesome little micro drift track to have at that event. And being the legend he is, he already had some cars on the track, so these ended up more or less being backups. And fast forward to a few months ago, I thought it might be kind of fun to take one of these cars and modify it with some fresh paint and new shoes to hopefully improve the appearance a bit, and it was a big success. I love the metallic paint and the overall look of this car, and a lot of you guys did as well. I asked you all in that video if you wanted to see me do the same thing here with this Ferrari, and a lot of people said yes. So I've had this car sitting on the shelf for a while now, but I've kind of ran into a little snag. Basically, I haven't really been able to decide on how exactly I want to modify this car. I've got a lot of ideas, but can't really decide on one. Because of this, I thought it might be fun to let you all decide how I modify this Ferrari body, or maybe more like faux Ferrari body. I definitely want to paint it and add some custom wheels, maybe even a spoiler as well, but I'll talk more about that in a bit, but for now, let's tear this thing down. So fortunately, just like with the AE86, the chassis is very easy to remove from the body. All you need to do is remove the 4 screws from these front and rear undercarriage pieces, then remove 4 more screws to remove the body. As you could probably guess, this chassis is completely identical to the other one, just with a different body on top. And once the lights are unplugged, the body is now completely separated so I can do some work on it. Now, unlike the AE86 previously, these headlights can actually be easily removed with these 4 screws. As you can see, the lights and the clear lens pieces fall right out. Hopefully they go back in okay, but with them out, there's no need to mask around the headlights. The good news continues around back. I was also lucky with the taillights as they can just be pushed right out from the inside of the body. This is great as those taillights look like they would have been a bit of a pain to mask. Now I think you could probably remove the side view mirrors as well, though you may need to cut them from the inside. I wasn't really concerned with them. I'll probably end up painting them at some point, so I just left them on. Just like I did on the car previously, I sanded the body with some 400 grit sandpaper, mostly to get the surface scuffed up a bit to help the primer adhere to the body. I did avoid sanding the windows. I might end up painting over them, but I'm not sure, so I left them as is, so I'll have the option of just masking them off and leaving them as is. Another thing I did was use a pick tool to deepen all of the panel gaps. Here's where the body was at after this was done. I gave it a quick rinse to remove all of the dust. Now, I won't be doing any work on the chassis as I'm only really interested in modifying the cosmetic aspects of this car, but I will be designing and 3D printing some custom wheels just like I did on the AE86. These cheap looking orange wheels that came with the car just aren't the look that I want. But again, this is where I'd love to hear your suggestions below in the comments. What wheels do you think would look cool on this car? And also, what color or colors do you think I should paint the body? I've got a few ideas that I've been brainstorming, including maybe going with something a little outside the box. I thought a matte finish might be kind of cool, or going in the complete other direction and maybe doing like a chrome or brass finish. But I don't know. Again, I want to hear your ideas below. I thought I'd pick out a few ideas that I like the most and then post a poll over on the community tab here on YouTube, and whatever gets the most votes is how I'm going to build this thing. But as you can see, I'm off to a good start. Well, I mean, okay, the car looks worse now than what I started with, but you know what I mean. Again, I am really happy to see that the lights could easily be removed from this body. That's honestly a big help right there, and kind of an advantage over the AE86 body, but the next step is going to be getting this body masked and primed. As always, a big thanks everyone for watching, and stay tuned for part 2, where I'll be getting the custom wheels made and body painted however you all vote in the polls. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what this car ends up looking like, and I hope you all are as well. But that's going to be all for this video. Thanks again everyone for watching, and I'll see you next time.